Welcome to AI Paper Drop. I'm Alex.
And I'm Maya. What if your anonymity isn't actually a lock, but just a very tedious puzzle that most people were too lazy to solve? Until now. But now, there is an AI that can solve that puzzle for $2.17.
That sounds like a premise for a techno thriller. But we're talking about real-world data, right? Like the stuff in our phones?
Exactly. Think about those apps that track your fitness, or the weather app that knows where you are, or even the data brokers who sell your location patterns to advertisers. For years, the industry has told us this data is anonymized. They basically say, we stripped your name and email, so you are just a random string of numbers and GPS dots.
Right, the classic anonymization promise. I remember reading that if you have just a few points of where someone sleeps and where they work, you can basically figure out who they are. But the counter-argument was always that it is too much work. Like, who is going to spend 10 hours digging through public records for one person?
Exactly. That was the safety net. It was called security through difficulty. The theory was that while it is technically possible to re-identify someone, the manual effort required was so high that it wasn't a scalable threat. It was like saying a house is secure because the door is locked with 100 different keys that you have to find in a giant forest.
And now the AI is basically a bloodhound that can find all those keys in seconds?
Precisely. The researchers in this paper didn't just build another tool. They built an agentic AI pipeline. Now, when we say agentic, we don't just mean a chatbot you talk to. We mean an AI that can actually take actions. It can plan, search, and execute.
Wait, so it's not just guessing? It is actually browsing the web?
Yes. Imagine a master detective who has 1,000 interns. The detective looks at a GPS trace and says, okay, this person spends every night at this specific coordinate and every day at this office building. Then he tells the interns, go find every person associated with this address on LinkedIn, search Instagram for photos of this office, check public property registries, and find me a name.
So the AI is basically triangulating a digital identity using the physical world as the map.
Exactly. It uses a 7-step process. It starts with raw coordinates, moves to searching the open web, cross-references social media, and then resolves those traces into a candidate identity. The scary part is that it does this autonomously. There is no human in the loop saying, let me check if this is the right person. The AI decides if the match is strong enough.
I can see how that works, but surely there's a lot of noise. I mean, how many people work in one big office building or live in one apartment complex? It should be a guessing game at that point.
That is where the agentic part gets wild. The AI doesn't just stop at the building. It looks for patterns. If the GPS moves from the office to a specific gym and then to a specific home, the pool of candidates shrinks incredibly fast. It is like a game of elimination where the AI has the entire internet as its cheat sheet.
Okay, I am sold on the concept, but did it actually work? Because simulating this in a lab is one thing, but real-world data is messy.
That is the punch in the gut of this paper. They tested this on a dataset of simulated location points, but those points were anchored to actual, real-world home and work addresses. They wanted to see if the AI could find the real people behind those coordinates.
And?
Out of the people who were actually re-identifiable, the AI nailed 72% of them. In another set of cases, the precision was nearly 95%. That means when the AI said, this is the person, it was almost always right.
Wait, 72%? That is actually wild. I thought we were talking about a needle in a haystack, but the AI just burned the haystack down to find the needle.
Right? And remember the cost. The researchers found that it costs about $2.24 in API fees to do this. $2 to strip away someone's anonymity.
That is the part that really gets me. It is not just that the technology exists. It is that the cost of attacking your privacy has plummeted. It used to be the domain of state intelligence agencies or elite hackers with a lot of time on their hands. Now it is basically just a script and a credit card.
Exactly. And that changes the entire legal landscape. There is this thing in the GDPR, the big European privacy law called Recital 26. It basically says data is anonymous if re-identification is not reasonably likely by any means.
I bet the lawyers are going to have a field day with the phrase reasonably likely.
Oh, absolutely. Because for a long time, reasonably likely meant it would take a human expert a week of work. But if a bot can do it in 17 minutes for the price of a cup of coffee, the definition of reasonably likely just shifted.
So what does this actually mean for us? Are we just doomed to be trackable? Because I do not think we can just stop using GPS.
It means we have to stop pretending that stripping a name from a dataset makes it anonymous. The data itself, the pattern of your life, is your fingerprint. If the cost of matching that fingerprint to a name is now near zero, then the data is not anonymous. Period.
It feels like we're moving into a world where privacy is no longer about hiding your identity, but about controlling who has the keys to the map.
Exactly. The takeaway here is simple but terrifying. We used to be protected by the fact that stalking at scale was too boring and too hard for humans. Now we have an agent that never gets bored, never sleeps, and is incredibly cheap to run.
The puzzle is solved. The only question left is who is holding the pieces.
If you are enjoying this, follow or subscribe to AI Paper Drop wherever you listen. It really helps, and we have a new episode every day.
Paper by Oscar Thies, Roman Muller, Matthias Temple. Produced by AI Paper Drop.